Hello just friends, today we are going to see two classical games from the 100 classical masterpieces. So in the previous episode we saw that knight b1 move, which was literally amazing, of Karpov, and this game is also knight b1. Yeah, so let's start. D4, d6, e4, knight f6. By the way, the game's title is again knight b1. Yeah. So this is the classical perk: knight c3, g6, knight f3, bishop g7, bishop e2, short castle, c6. This is some kind of sketch perk and classical perk hybrid. If we see in the database, okay, hold your breaths. Perk defense, classical variation, quiet system, sketch defense. So, who has played this? Carlson, Kasparov. I am done with these two names, so I will closing it. Now bishop f4, interesting. White plan c5. Oops, e5 this way. So knight b d7, rook e1, queen b6, queen c1, e5. Now black breaks the center before white could. So d5, de5, bishop e3, attacking the queen on b6. Yeah. Now queen c7, knight d2, threatening knight c4 and things like that. Rook d8, rook d1, knight f8, knight c4. Now rook into d1 check, queen into d1, and knight e8. Well, knight e8, interesting. He wants to play f5 and break the center again. So a4, knight e6, the knight on f8 goes to e6, then f5 will come. Now, ladies and gentlemen, inhale and exhale. Knight b1. I mean, why is Karpov so crazy with this knight b1, knight d1 moves? Like the previous game he did knight d1, this game he did knight d1. Why is he so obsessed with the knight? Yeah, why not other pieces? So b6, c3, knight f4. The knight comes to f4, good square, bishop f1, bishop e6, knight b d2, h5, queen c2, rook d8, and now b4. White storms the queen side, knight f6, knight f3, knight h7. Well, now everything right. Rook d1, rook into d1, queen into d1, bishop to g4, queen to d6, exchanging the queens, queen into d6, knight into d6, king to f8, e5, breaking the queen side. So now black has to do something. King e7 was played in the game, attacking the d6 knight. Now there's a interesting variation. A into b6. Now black can't take king into d6 because b into a7 hangs, and there's no way to prevent queening. Yeah, so that's why after a into b6 there should be a better move. Can you find it? Well, leave your greedy bags there, and well, now there's the great move A into B6. Its idea is that no B into A7 now, because there's no pawn on B6. I mean, what is this? So this knight is under attack. You can't take the B6 pawn because K into D6 is coming. So after A into B6, white should play something like knight C4, then B5, then bishop to C5 check, and well, king D7, and you can take here, take check, now king E6, knight into C6, and I think this is winning. Yeah, I think this is winning because the B5 pawn is also lost after bishop into B5, and also the knight and especially the bishop is in danger after moves like h3. It can be trapped. Yeah, so well, coming on to the game, knight c4, bishop into f3, g into f3, b5, knight a3, white goes back, a6, and now think what you can do. Knight into b5, knight sacrifice, c into b5, bishop into b5, bishop sacrifice. The thing is that you can't take any of these sacrifices by the a pawn because a6, a6, a7, a8 is queen, so you can't stop it. The pass pawn, knight g5, bishop into a6, knight ge6, bishop to c4. White is now white now has, I mean, 3 pawns for 1 piece. It's just a very healthy compensation. King d8, a6, king c8, b5, bishop f8, b6, bishop c5, bishop d5. Flawless endgame technique by Karpov. Knight into d5, e into d5, bishop into e3, b7 check. Just checking the king. I mean, can you check someone? Yeah. King b8 and the last blow, e into e6, just bluffing intermediate move. And after bishop c5, e into f7, black resigned because this bishop is tied up to this pawn. The bishop and king are restricting these three, but the white can get his king here, then h4, g5, and eventually win these 2 pawns and queen his h pawn. Yeah, like h4, h5, h6, h7, and finally h8 queen. Yeah. So well, how can we remember this game? As I use the technique, if you still haven't watched my video, I use this technique to learn games. I just like first I see this game, I just like go through it really fast and see that what are the ideas. I will go little slow this time to show you also. So well, nothing special until now. 98, a4, 96. Yeah, we got one thing. The knight b1 Karpov move. So I'll mark this one. Any move, any move which is I want to be special. Yeah, I mark this with a interesting one. Yeah, so b6, c3, knight f4, And well, until now, all is fine, all is fine, all is fine. I think here better would be a into b6, but I don't know. Carpo always plays good move, so I will not suspect his move much. So knight c4, bishop f3, gf3, b5, knight a3, a6, and now next interesting. And then there's nothing left in the game. If you want, like, I mean, there's nothing special now. Yeah, so we can remember this game by three things: the knight b1 move, the bishop into b5, and knight into b5 sacrifices. And if you want, then you can also remember this game by d into e6. My rule is that the most things you can remember it of, the more good. Yeah, that d into e6 move, knight into b5, bishop into b5, knight to b1, these four things will help you. So Smyslow versus Reshevsky, next game. Two great players, I mean, who suspects his goodness? Smyslow, I mean, literally great. e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, d6, c3, knight e7, d4, bishop d7, bishop b3, h6, knight b d2, knight g6. It's a standard opening game like the Rui Lopez modern tennis. Okay, 51. Rui Lopez, Morphy defense, modern tennis defense. Uh, can we call it the old line? I don't think. Okay, let's review the players. Krzysztof Rapport, no problem. Nigel Short versus Lagos Portrait, no problem. Andy Sokolov, Lagos Portrait, no problem. Gyula Sachs versus Portrait, Lagos, no problem. Christopher Lutz versus Hubner Robot, no problem. And again, Sachs versus Portrait. Okay, Marotti, I don't know who is it. John Nunn. John Nunn, no problem in this game. For white, Sachs Gyula, okay. John Ems. Now, John Ems versus Alexander Gordon, no problem. Lubomir Kavaleko. Tough player he is. Okay, Vladimir Malikov versus Vladimir, no problem. Yuri Balashov versus Bigger Peter. So the list ends. So, long list. So, knight c4. Bishop e7, short castle, knight e3, bishop f6, knight d5. My favorite feature is to fast forward the moves here. Yeah, knight d5, rook e8, d into e5, bishop into e5, and knight into e5. Many things have happened. Knight into e5, queen f3, bishop e6. Now a look at the position. Yeah, summarizing the first 15 moves. So, well, when we evaluate a position, there are 8 things. You can add many things, but the 8 are most things. To evaluate a position, not to find the best move, firstly you have to look at the material. Yeah, first material. White has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pawns, and black has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Black also has 7 pawns. Second thing, you should look king safety. Both white and black kings are safe. So 0-0 right now. Yeah. And then activity of the pieces. Activity of the pieces. White has the very active d5 knight. The queen on f3 is doing great job. The bishop can look to chop it up at h6. This bishop is not that good, but it's still protecting the d5 knight. And black's knight on g6 is doing nothing. The bishop is just wanting to exchange. The knight is also not do anything because of the c3 pawn. So, well, oops. Like these three pieces are out of the game. Why? Because of the pawn structure. See, white has this one, and black has this one. So white has clearly the more active pieces, minor and major. So 1-0 it's right now. Then we look at the open files. So there is only one open file on the board. Again, the D file. Yeah, like the e4 pawn is doing good job and this all. Yeah, the D file is open, but but whom it will belong, it's very unclear. Like who will control this file? Yeah, who will control this D file? It's a very important question. I think the D file will belong to white because this rook can jump here, this rook can jump here, the knight on D5 is between, so 2-0. Now we look at the space advantage. Black and white both have this E5 pawn there. So it's equal, it's advantage, so no point to both, still 2-0. Then we look at the pawn structure. How is it? White has 2 islands, black also has 2 islands. Yeah, these and black has this. Yeah, and well, white also has this pawn structure, this island and this. So well, pawn structure still 0. And then what else we can add in? Well, activity of the minor pieces, now activity of the major ones. So in the major pieces, one, the queen on d8 is doing nothing, just chilling out there, so it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so but white's queen on f3 is doing a great job. It prepares some kind of bishop into h6, right? F6 check tactics. And the other pieces of both sides are doing nothing. Like this rook, nah. This rook, nah. This rook also, and this rook, no. So this was the evaluation of the position. Here white is strategically better. White has three advantages in his favor: activity of the minor pieces, activity of the major pieces, and the open file. Yeah, and black has none. So well, now going on, rook d1, bishop d5, rook d5, queen e7, queen f5, knight f8, going back with the knight. Now knight e6, rook d1, rook d8, g3, rook d6 takes, queen g4, king h8, bishop b6, knight b8, bishop into e6, f into e6, queen to h4, queen to d7, queen to d8 check, white forces into exchange, bishop into d8, knight d7, bishop c7, knight c5, and rook into d6. Rook c8. Now a full assessment of the position again after 15 more moves have been done, so we have to assess. Taking toll of the position, see there is the we can add one more point actually after the 15th move. Are there any weaknesses in the position of black? No. Are there any weaknesses in white position? We can add the weaknesses counter also there. That are there any weaknesses? No, not yet. So first we look at the material because it is very important to judge material. So white has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and black has 1, 2, 3. And black has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So black is a pawn down. 1, 0 goes to white. Now, are there any whose king is more safe? Black has 2 pawns on their king. White has 3. 2, 0. White's king is certainly more safe. Now, whose pieces are more active? The rook on d6 is limiting the knight on c5. Yeah, but the knight also is doing great job. But the bishop is also, and the rook on c8 is doing nothing. So that's why a 3-0 goes to white. Now, who has weak squares? The one who has weak squares loses the point. So weak squares and weak pawns. So black has weak pawns. E5 and e6, those double pawns, I don't like them. And also he has some weak squares such as like b6. So 4-0 goes to white, weak squares and weak pawns. Now activity of the major pieces, 5-0 goes to white. King safety, white's king is safe, black's king is bad. Space, well, 0, no side gets a point. Pawn structure, white's pawn structure is considerably better. So 6-0. Then what else can we think of? Open file, who controls the open file? There's D open file. So 8-0 still goes to white. Nothing more. Yeah, so we can say white is winning. Yeah. Now bishop b6, knight e4, rook into e6, knight into b2, rook into e5, knight to c4, attacking the bishop on b6 and the rook on e5. White can defend it. Rook e6, knight into b6, rook into e6, rook into c3, rook into b7. White is now 2 pawns up. Rook to c2, h4, rook into a2, king g2, a5, h5, a4. So white limits the square of g6. Now rook a7, king g8, g4, a3, king g3, rook e2, attacking the e4 pawn, king f3, defending it and attacking the rook, rook a2, king e3, king f8, f3, rook a1, king f4. Oops, we have to summarize. So another 15 moves, what has been done? Material, white is 1 pawn up. Yeah. Black is not. 1, 2, and 3. Whose rook is more active? White's rook is, because it limits the a7 pawn, and black's rook is doing nothing. Now, whose king is more active? It's a question in the end game. White's king is more active than black's, just limited. So, well, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 now. Space advantage doesn't matter in this position. So, no point for both sides. Open files doesn't matter, but still white gets the point, 4-0. And activity of the pieces, 5-0. Activity of the major one, there are only major ones. So 5-0 still. So, well, weak squares and pawns. Black has this weak square g6, juicy spot. White's king can go there. And with this weak pawn on g7, so 7-0. Well, so these were the analysis. Now, king f4, a2, e5, king g8, king f5, rook a1, rook f1, rook into a2, check here, check, and then check. So we can remember this game by have to study this game first. So getting on, this time intense style. So nothing in the first moves. Wait a minute, what? How can we remember this name? I mean, there's nothing too much special about this. Idea. Idea. We can remember this game by the monster knight on d5. Yeah, I am the greatest. Oh yeah. This monster knight on d5. We can remember this game. So, well, getting on to here, this monster knight on d5. And we have learned how to evaluate a position. Let me decide. How to evaluate a chess position. Yeah. So, this is a very common question. So let me answer it. Yeah, many people have this. Firstly, material. Then second, king safety. Then third is activity of the pieces. Fourth, space advantage. Fifth, what can we do? Open and semi-open files. Sixth, king safety holds weak squares and pawns. Seventh, what else can we do? Um. Okay, so what is the seventh point we should remember? I think the seventh point should be pawn structure. Pawn structure. Now eighth. What is the eighth point and the last one? See, pawn structure. This. Yeah. Mm. Eighth point, I think, should be like this is one additional one. Yeah. Like we can say this as whose like it is. I don't think so. Getting on to the 15th move position. Here it's like this. So what else? What have we? Yeah. I think there are 7 points to evaluate. I have not missed anyone. And if I have, you can write to me and I will add this. So, well, you can remember these 7 points here, how to evaluate a chess position. So, these were the games. Today is the death anniversary of Savitri Bai Phule. She was an Indian educationalist. She was the first female teacher of the first women's school in India, established in 1848. Yeah, she worked for the eradication of caste discrimination and also discrimination for women. Yeah, so she also she also worked on uplifting the Dalit community in India, in Maharashtra actually. So uh, in her honor, the government of India like established the Savitri Bai Phule Pune University in 2014. So these were the games. I hope you liked. Don't forget to hit this comment bell icon. Thank you.